Okay, so we're going to stand, and I'm going to give you a side view just so that it makes a little bit of sense. You're standing side by side, your feet, and you're just going to take your right foot back and bending your left knee. That puts you into a straight, your back leg can bend slightly. It doesn't have to be locked. We're just stepping back, bending that front knee, and then step back up. You step back and then up. So it's a lunge. Good. That left foot's forward, right foot's back. So just kind of starting with a little bit more dynamic movement for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's just go straight into switching feet. Right foot stays down, left foot goes back now. Left foot goes back. Good. Good. Ooh, it'll challenge your balance a little bit as well, or at least it will challenge mine. And back, and back. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and on this one, let's hold back. So you're holding in this lunge. And now the important part, Marie, this is going to also help with your back pain. When you hinge forward, it happens at the hips. What ends up happening is everyone, if you check my shoulders, ending up coming like this in the back rounds, that's going to put the head in more of a stressed position. So make sure it's your hips that lean forward, your whole body. Yes, just like that. And then you come back up. You hinge forward from the pelvis, and then you come up, making sure that back doesn't change shape, and your eyes, your gaze should be going towards the ground. Back up, good. Last one, gaze towards the ground. Marie, bring your chin down just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, just to be your upper spine in a neutral position. Now you're holding here. Now, you're in this lunge position. You should feel the stabilization of that front leg, that right hip. Yeah, right in through there. Really push down into your heel. And we're going to do a dynamic. You're going to bring this left leg up to tabletop by coming up. And then you go back down. Good. You bring it up to tabletop, challenge your balance for a second, and then lower back down. Challenge the balance a little bit. I keep on falling. Lower back down. Good. Challenge that balance. Control back down. 2 more. Challenge that balance. Lower down. Last one. Challenge the balance. Lower down. Now on this one, you're going to come up and hold. I'm turning to face you forward so you can see that leg's in tabletop. Draw the shoulder blades down now, and we're going to lower and lift the right foot, the heel. You lift the heel up, you lower it back down. If you need to grab a wall, that is fine. We're lifting and lowering. Great job. Lift and lower. Now check in with your pelvis. Make sure you're not pushing your hip out and you're not pushing your hip out the other way. You want your pelvis square, the left sit bone's pushing towards the ground for 3, for 2, for 1, and now place both feet down. Good. Shake that all out. So it really gets from the hip extensor, your sit bone, all the way down to your ankle. Now we're going to do the same thing. All the weight goes into your left foot. More dynamic. Step back. Right leg goes back. Bring the right leg up and up. And then hold it up and then lower back. Hold it up, lower back. Good. Hold it up, lower back. 3 more. Hold it up, lower back. Hold it up. Good. Lower back. And on this one, we're going to hold up and maintain. Now check in with the pelvis. If you need to move to find a wall, that is fine. Draw the shoulder blades down. And now let's lower and lift that left heel. Lift the heel up, lower it down. Now, as you lift and lower, you want to make sure you're pushing through all 5 metatarsals. That's where your toe comes into your foot evenly. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and place both feet down. Send the feet wide, and you're just going to do hip circles. Hip circles. Good. Just getting a stretch for those hips and then change directions. Hip circles. Good. Okay, so now your feet are wide. You're going to keep the weight in your heels and just turn out the hips. Yeah, so it's going to be a plie. We're going to just plie down, stand back up. Good. Plie down. Now, we did all that lowering and lifting in the heels. Feel as if you can push your heels into the ground as you draw your shins up. We're trying to make the heel and our ankle kind of that point of where gravity is meeting, from the gravity of pushing up from the ground and also pushing down from the sky. So you want to think about lifting up out of the heels. For 5, get the calves engaged in this. For 4, for 3, just putting that focus on the ankles. And on this one, let's hold. Okay, open the knees out to the side and behind you more. Feel how that turns on the outer part of your glutes. You're stretching out the inner thighs, and we're holding here. See if you can go a little bit lower and hold. Now, push out. If your hands are on the outside of the knees, try to push into those hands, and you're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and stand up tall. Bring the feet back in, shake the legs out. Grab your strap. And now you're gonna hold the strap in your right hand. You're gonna place the strap, half the strap is gonna be on the ground. Where the strap meets the ground and starts to lift up, that's where your right foot is gonna go. So right hand, right strap, right at that fold where the ground and the floating strap meet, that's where your right foot goes. Then you place your left foot on the strap as well. Switch the strap to the left hand and grab palm outside, thumbs towards the ground, so that you can reach that arm directly out to the side. Your thumb is going to be facing forward. Yeah, good, Patricia. Yep, good, you all got it. Left hand, the palms facing the ground, thumbs facing forward. And this, yeah, for 3, for 2. Now you're going to hold your arm out to the side. Now, what's keeping your shoulder away from your ear is you're pulling down your scapula, your shoulder blade from underneath the armpit. So rotate your thumb slightly towards the ceiling, not all the way up. It's just a slight rotation towards the ceiling. Good. Now you bend just your elbow and then straighten it. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Good. Bend and straighten. So we're doing shoulder, abduction, hold. And now we're doing elbow flexion and extension for 3. Keep that shoulder blade drawing down for 2. Last 1, and then bring your arm down. Good. Round the shoulders forward and back. Now, we're switching the strap to the right hand. And you're going to be grabbing. So it's like you're holding a cup. You grab so that the strap is coming up through the pinky side, and your thumb is towards the ceiling, and your elbow is bent, making a 90-degree angle. The lower you hold on the strap, the heavier it will be. Bend and straighten your elbow. So it's a bicep curl. Bicep curl. So you can always make this heavier by grabbing lower, or if it's too heavy, you grab closer to the ear of the strap. For 5. Now feel how, as you bend up, it pulls your shoulder blade down. So you want to keep that depression of your shoulder blade. Pause with your elbow, making a 90-degree angle. You can even feel underneath the armpit, that serratus, pulling your shoulder blade down. And now from here, press the arm forward. You press forward from underneath the armpit by drawing your humerus, your arm bone, down and extending your elbow forward. Good. Push forward, back in. Push forward, back in. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep that arm straight out in front of you. Now, arm is straight out in front. You're going to bend the elbow, then straighten the elbow. Bend the elbow, straighten the elbow. You still have that arm bone pulling down from underneath the armpit. The shoulders staying away from your ears. Good. For 3, for 2, for 1. Keep the arm straight out in front of you. 3 circles each direction. 3, 2, 1. 3 the other direction. 3, 2, 1. Bend your elbow in, lower it down. Bring your foot off, shake the arms out. Yeah, so we're kind of working the whole shoulder joint, and that includes the arm. The arm originates in the shoulder. Okay, now, other side. You place that strap back down on the ground. You're holding the strap in your left hand. Your left foot steps on the crease of where the ground and the floating strap meet. And then you're going to switch the strap to the right hand. You grab in front, thumb faces forward. So your hand comes in front, grabs, and then you rotate. So now your thumb's facing forward, the ear of the strap's going out of the pinky, and reach the arm out to the side. Good. So we just worked this arm. So you're going to feel a little fatigue. We're working now more of the shoulder for abduction. So we're working your deltoids a lot more for 4 and part of your rotator cuff for 3, for 2. And on this one, you're going to lift the arm up and hold. Good. Now bend just the elbow, then straighten it. Bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten for 5, 4, 3, 2, and you're going to keep your arms straight on this one. Now push, 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 push out. Let's paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the arm down. You're going to place your inside hand is going to grab the strap. The ear of the strap is going out of the pinky side of the hand, palms facing your body. Bend and straighten your elbow with that left hand now. Good. So bicep curl. And again, you can always play around. If you want to make it heavier, just grab a little lower. Bend and straighten. Or if it's too heavy, go up closer towards the end of the strap. Oh no. The important thing is making sure that left foot is just solidly pushing in. The right foot really doesn't do anything. It's just in line. That left foot is key. For 3, for 2, you're going to pause with that elbow bent. Feel that shoulder blade drawing down underneath the armpit. And now from here, you're going to punch the arm forward, bring it back in. Push the arm forward, back in. Push the arm forward, back in. For 3, for 2, keep that arm straight. Now, bend your elbow, straighten your elbow. Bend, straighten, bend, and straighten, bend, and straighten. Good. So you're doing that bicep curl again. For 3, for 2, last 1, and now keep your arms straight. 3 circles each direction. 3, 2, shoulder blades drawing down. 1, you're pushing out from here. 3 the other direction. 3, 2, 1, lower the arm down. Let go of that strap. Round the shoulders forward and back. Okay, keeping that whole idea of pulling the shoulder blades down from your shoulder blades. You want to pull your shoulders down from your shoulder blades. You're going to go wide with those feet. Feet are even outside of the pelvis, outside of the shoulders. You're turned out, lower down into your squat. Feel what happens to your torso as you draw your shoulder blades down. It pulls you up right more, gets your core engaged. Keep those shoulders a part of this. Now we're lowering and lifting both heels. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. For 8, 7, draw the shoulder blades down. 6, feel how when you draw your shoulder blades down, you can lower down. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand up tall. Relax the arms, round the shoulders forward and back. Uh-oh, you froze. Hopefully you can hear me. And you're standing up tall. Stand up. Okay, good. You're unfrozen now. Okay, you're going to inhale, float the arms up above the head. Exhale, look down the nose, round the spine forward, reaching down towards the ground, getting a stretch in your hamstrings. And then you're going to slowly build your spine back up, starting with your sacrum, then your spine builds up. You do that one more time. Float the arms up. Look down the nose, round the spine forward, reaching down towards the ground. Hanging here. Now, while you're hanging here, draw your shoulder blades down and then let them come back up. So you're pulling your shoulder blades down towards your sits bones, and then let your arms relax again. Shoulders go by the ears. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Pull the shoulders, let the shoulders relax, go up by your ears. Now, feel how it's a little bit of work against gravity. You pull the shoulders away from your ears by drawing your shoulder blades down. Walk your hands out to a plank. And you're going to hold this plank for a second. Now, Marie, drop your hips a little bit lower. So you get, yeah, even lower if you can, as long as that feels okay in your back. We're going into a full plank. At any point, if you need to drop down to your forearms, or you can give yourself a wider base by separating your feet. But we're just holding. Pull those shoulder blades towards those sits bones, and then push away from the ground. For 4, 3, 2, you're going to bend your knees, rest them on the ground. So now you're in this all fours position. You round your spine up. You extend your spine back. So feel as if you're like rounding, creating a barrel with your spine. And then you push and extend. Round up. Extend back. And then find that all fours position. Now you're going to lower down to your forearms. If your forearms are not comfortable for a plank, you can stay up on your hands. And then you're going to extend those legs back one at a time, coming into your plank again, but on your forearms. We're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now keep your core engaged, keep your back extensors engaged. Just lower your knees down and then lower down onto your stomach. But you still stay on your forearms. You're still on your forearms, and you're going to draw those shoulder blades down and extend up through your chest. So you're pushing your heart forward. Good. Just like that, Marie. Forearms are resting on the ground. Let your neck relax. Now, you're just going to point your foot, your right foot. You're going to kick twice. 1, 2, and place it back down. Kick 1, 2, place it back down. So we're going to alternate legs, and you're pointing the feet right now. So just get that feeling. You get a little bit of a quad stretch and a little bit of a hip stretch. So now you're going to point your feet, kick once, flex your foot, kick once, and then point your foot to lay it back down. So it's point the foot, kick once, flex the foot, kick once, point the foot, and lower down. Now everyone draw your belly button away from the ground. Draw your shoulders down. You're holding an isometric contraction in your spine. So you're holding this extension. Point your foot, flex your foot, place it back down. Point your foot and kick, flex your foot and kick, place it back down. One more on each side. Point your foot and kick, flex your foot and kick, place it back down. Last one. Point, flex, place it back down, and then you're going to tuck your toes, lift your hips back up into your plank, and keep that activation of the glutes. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, lower the knees back down, then just roll onto your side. So that is one of those classical mat moves. And you're going to turn and lie on your side so you can face. Called single leg pumps. Stretches out your hip flexors and your quads more than anything and works in isometric contraction for your back. Okay, take your bottom, actually take both legs. Bend them into tabletop. Your heels should be in front of you. Your heels should be directly underneath your knees, if not slightly in front of your knees. Your knees should be in line with your hips. Rotate your knee towards the ceiling, your top knee. Good. Now, as you do this, you want to pretend that your back is up against the wall and you can't rotate back into the wall. So it's just this lateral rotation of the hip. Rotate it up, back down, up, then down, up, then down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and you're going to pause with your knee towards the ceiling. Now we're going to get to do internal rotation, which I think is a lot of fun. Now bring your ankle towards the ceiling. Good. And then drop your heel back down. Bring the ankle towards the ceiling. Drop the heel down. Ankle towards the ceiling. Drop the heel down. Ankle towards the ceiling. Good. So you're doing this full range of motion of the hip joint. You do internal rotation, you do external rotation. For 2 more, 1, and then 2, rotate to parallel. Now, as you're going to keep your knee bent, we're going to bring the knee back in line with the hip. So it's like you're putting a footprint behind you. Good, just like that. And then bring the knee forward. Good. Bring the knee back like you're kicking behind you, and then the knee forwards. Good. So you have this motion. When we bring the knee back behind, bringing the knee back, bringing your foot behind you, you're going to go external rotation, meaning we rotate the knee up as you kick the foot back. As you bring the knee back in line with you, you rotate that knee up towards the ceiling. Good. Good. Now, once the knee gets in line with you, we switch. We're going to do internal rotation as you bring your knee forward. Bring the knee forward, internally rotating, meaning the ankle lifts up. Good. And then external rotation as you bring the knee in line with you. 4, 5. Internal rotation as you bring the knee in front of you. Good. 3, 4, 5. Change direction. External rotation, bringing that knee in line with you. 3, 4, 5. Internal rotation as you bring the knee in front. And you're going to keep the knee, legs are parallel to each other, both at a 90-degree angle. Then you're going to straighten the legs straight out in front of you and hold. Let's paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knee, rest it down. Great job. So we worked a lot of movement in the hip and getting to strengthen the whole range of motion that ball and socket can go. Now you're just going to turn and lie on your back. And if you want to have a little pillow for your head, you can grab that ball. And anytime you want to keep any support, anytime we do a crunch, you can bring that support of the ball with you. That's if you want it. Yeah, so you can just place that, and then your hands will just be holding onto that ball instead of behind your head. So from here, remember that triangle. You place the heels of your hands and your pubic bone, and then heels of your hands on your front of your pelvis. Your fingertips are going to touch your pubic bone, and then your thumbs are going to meet, and you're making that triangle. Keep your tailbone and sacrum pushing down into the mat, and imprint that whole portion of your spine that you're feeling with your hands down onto your sacrum. So you're getting that low abdominal pelvic floor support as you crunch up. You pull down to crunch up. Pull that down, and it curls your head and shoulders up. Now you can always remove your hands from that triangle and bring your hands to support your neck, but really trying to get this pelvic floor drawing down to curl you up. Pelvic floor draws down to curl you up. Good. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. And on this one, you crunch and hold. You're in this crunch right here. You push that tailbone heavy into the mat. You bring your right leg to tabletop. You bring your left leg to tabletop. Now, pelvic tilt flattens out your low back. Still feel that triangle pulling down with your low back flat. And straighten your right leg. Then as your right leg comes in, you straighten your left leg. And switch, switch. You can always lower the head down while you're doing this. Make sure you're not straining your neck. But find that shoulder. Draw the shoulder blades down like when we were standing doing the strap. Activate right underneath that armpit. It's going to give your neck more support for 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2. Good job. 2, 1, 1. Bring both legs to tabletop. Place one foot down, then the other foot down. Lower your head and shoulders. If you need to remove the ball now, if you have a ball underneath your neck, remove that ball. Palms are going to face the ceiling. Lift your hips up. Even with your hips lifted up, engage the glutes, but engage that triangle and feel that compression, those oppositional forces, getting your pelvic floor secure, activating the entire canister of your core, and straighten your right leg straight out in front of you. You should feel more engagement of everything stabilizing you here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee and rest that foot down. Keep your hips lifted. If you're not feeling that intense if you're not feeling that triangle, now straighten the left leg. That is okay. It is some subtle movement, and you just wanted to focus on that pushing down, pulling down, getting pelvic floor support in the pelvis. Now lift the left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Now you're going to lower and lift the hips with that left leg pointing straight up towards the ceiling. The pelvis drops down, the pelvis lifts up. The pelvis touches the ground, the pelvis pushes back up. So it's a single leg hip lift for 3, for 2, 1. Lower that left leg down, place it on the ground. Inhale here, you're still in your bridge. Bring your right leg to tabletop, then straighten it up towards the ceiling. And then lower and lift the hips. Lower the hips, lift the hips. As you lower those hips down, push that triangle down into the sacrum. That pushes the pelvis down. And then squeeze your glutes to push the hips back up. Good. For 3, for 2, last 1. Bend both knees, place them down on the ground. Lower your hips all the way down. Let your core relax for a second and just send your knees side to side. So it's important to be able to engage your muscles, but it's also important to tell them to relax. So that's one part that we have a harder time with in our society of, okay, relax. You don't have to be hypervigilant. Same thing with our core. Lying down does not have to, you can let everything relax for a second, and then you choose to engage everything back up, draw the core down into the spine, curl the head and shoulders off the mat. Hands can come behind the head. Squeeze the knees together, draw your triangle down, bring the legs up. Flatten out your low back. You're going to straighten both legs forward, then bend them back in. As you straighten those legs forward, get more support in the lower abdominals, pulling everything down to imprint onto your sacrum and then draw back in. Imprint on the sacrum, then down. Imprint on that sacrum, then down. 2 more. 1. And then you're going to pause with both legs straight. We're going to do small little scissor kicks for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees into tabletop. Place one foot down, then the other foot down. Lower head and shoulders. And let's roll on to our other side to do so hopefully having a little bit more of an awareness of our low abdominals, pelvic floor, getting that support, thinking of your core as a canister to create pressure for your muscles to push against to give more support. Okay, bending both legs into tabletop. And you want to make sure those heels are directly underneath your knees. Your knees are directly in line with your hips. We're just going to do some external rotation. Now, if it doesn't feel good at this 90-degree angle, you just lower your knees slightly below your hips. We're just externally rotating. Rotate up, rotate up. Good. Rotate up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and you're going to pause at this knee, rotate it up towards the ceiling. Now, knee stays still in space. Rotate the ankle up, drop the ankle back down. Rotate the ankle up, then back down. Good. Rotate it up, back down. Rotate up, then down. Rotate up. Sorry, your knee is supposed to not move in space. Mine was just moving. So it's just that rotation happening of the femur within the pelvis. For 3, for 2, last 1, and then rotate to parallel. Now remember, we're just going to bring that knee back in line with the body. The foot will be behind you. Then you bring the knee up to tabletop. Good. We're just doing a few kickbacks to get familiar with this motion. The only thing, you don't get into more knee flexion or extension. It's just you're moving from that hip joint. So you're getting that true hip extension and true hip flexion. Now bring that leg to tabletop. Now, as we go kicking our foot behind us, you're going to externally rotate, externally rotate. The heel stays still in space. The knee rotates towards the ceiling. And then when you come forward, the knee stays still in space and the ankle rotates up towards the ceiling. And then the heel stays still in space as you kick back and the knee rotates towards the ceiling. Good. And then the ankle lifts up as the knee comes forward. It's kind of fun. I think it's kind of cool. And then last one, knee kicks back and rotates towards the ceiling. The ankle is staying still. And then making your knee the still point, rotating internal, lifting that ankle up as you bring that leg forward. And then you're going to hold when that leg's in tabletop parallel to the bottom leg. You straighten the leg forward in front of you and hold. Okay, let's paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick the leg back in line with your body and hold. 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees into tabletop. Rest them on the ground. Feel that full engagement of the glute, both internally and externally. And just roll onto your back, and we're going to do some figure 4 stretch. You're going to bring the outside of one ankle to the top of the opposite knee. And then what you're going to do is then slowly bring that foot that's still on the ground. You're going to draw that leg to tabletop and then place it back down. We're going to do active stretches. So you hold it for 2 seconds, then you place the foot back down. You hold for 2 seconds, place it back down. Hold for 2 seconds. Good. Place it back down. Last one. Hold for 2 seconds. Place the foot back down. Now you're going to take that ankle out and place it on the ground. And then you're going to bring the outside of the opposite foot to the top of the opposite knee. Good. One side, this side's way tighter for me, so it might be the same for you. But then you bring that leg up to tabletop. Good. And then you place it back down. Y'all are getting this active stretch. The good thing about the active stretch is it keeps the engagement of the muscle without activating that stretch reflex. So you're actually still working the muscle and stretching it at the same time. As you bring the leg in, you're stretching it. As you push back down, you're working it a little bit. Last 2. This is 1 and 2. Then you're going to bring that foot out, straighten both your legs straight out in front of you. Now, we're going to do a roll-up. So do your modification for a roll-up. If it gets into your neck or back, you bend one leg to tabletop and grab behind that knee to roll up. And as you roll up, you push down and roll forward. That is if a roll-up hurts you, you're going to use that modification. And then you're going to roll back down. So if that hurts you with the roll-up, you're going to bring one leg to tabletop, place your hands behind the knee. As you roll up, you push your leg down towards the ground so you get that hip extension to assist you. And then you hinge forward. And then you stack back up one more time. And then to roll down, you again bring the opposite leg to tabletop and roll down with control. Marie, those look great. Leg stays in tabletop, hands come behind the knee. And everyone, you can roll up either with the modification or just a straight roll up. Go into hip extension as you roll up. Good, Patricia. Yes. And then hinge forward, stack up tall. You're going to take your strap and let's wrap your feet. You can, if you have a ball and you want to support your low back, you can place that ball underneath your sacrum. Now, with the rollback, I'm still going to just start talking as y'all are setting up. With the rollback, it initiates from the hips, not from your shoulders. So when you roll back, your shoulders should stay relatively still and it's just tilting off the sit bones. You just roll those sit bones. Yes. And then I'm trying to get this lower portion of my spine to push down. And that pushing down causes my spine to move backwards. It's not a leaning back with the shoulders. My shoulders are trying to stay on top of this fulcrum the whole time. A push down. Now pause when you get just before your spine starts to touch. Only your sacrum should be on. Now relax those shoulders. Make sure you're not pushing that chin forward. You want to keep the ears either behind the shoulders or slightly in line with them. And let's bend and straighten the elbows. You keep your feet flat on the ground. Tilt your pubic bone more. In order to get more of a pelvic tilt, you bend your knees slightly. You can only go into so much flexion of the pelvis when your legs are fully straight. For 3, for 2. Now you're going to pause with your elbows bent. Now everyone, you're going to roll down deeper, bending your knees in towards you more. Bend your knees in. Good, right to there. Now the tips of your shoulder blades can be on the mat. Your pubic bone is tilted. Your back is flat. Bring your legs to tabletop. Good. Keep that low back flat. Let your shoulders pull down and let the chest open. So squeeze the shoulder blades gently towards each other. Push the legs straight, bend them back in. If this is ever too much for your neck, you just rest your head and shoulders down. It is a lot of flexion that we're trying to get into. For 5, so as you draw those knees in, feel your core draw down, draw that triangle down, get deep into a crunch. For 2, and pause with the knees bent in. Now you're going to straighten your arms above you. Bend your elbows back down. Straighten the arms above you. Bend your elbows back in. As you straighten the arms above you, you want to draw those shoulders away from the ears. Let the scapula come underneath the armpits. For 2, 1. Now, your arms are straight above you, your legs are straight out in front of you. You place your feet down, straighten your legs out, lower your arms down to your side. You're lying down flat. And just send your neck side to side. Turn your palms to face the ceiling. We're just going to do some bicep curls while lying on your back. Both feet are wrapped still. You're just bending and straightening your elbows. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and you're going to pause with your elbows bent. Now, draw your sternum down. Pull your shoulder blades away from your ears. Look down the nose. Roll your spine up just to the tips of your shoulder blades. Good, 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 good. Draw the scapula down. Good. Now open your elbows out to the side. Bring them back to center. Your wrists travel with your elbows. Your movement is happening from the shoulders. You open, you close. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring your elbows in, straighten your arms out, lower your head and shoulders. You're going to keep your left foot on the ground. Your right foot's going to come up towards the ceiling, and it's going to bring the strap with you. Then you bend your left knee and place your left foot on the ground. Your right foot is still strapped. Grab more of that strap and then bend your elbows pulling down. And we're just going to lower and lift the right leg. You lower it down, you lift it back up. You lower down, you lift up. For 5, good. 4, 3, 2, pause at that leg reaching down, reach forward towards the wall. Good, now we're going to paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, open and close that leg. So we're just kind of trying to give a little bit more support for the hip. Open and close. Open, activating those adductors. So we did all those deep internal and external rotators. Now we're using kind of the bigger superficial muscles, your adductors and your abductors, plus your hip extensors and flexors. These are more the big movers, and those internal and external rotators are the fine movers. For 3, 2, 1, lift that leg up towards the ceiling. Bring your left foot into the strap. Place your right foot on the ground. And we're working the big movers here. Lower and lift the leg. Good. Lower down, lift up. Lower down, lift up. For 3, 2, and you're going to pause with that leg lower down, hovering just off the mat. Now let's open and close the leg, working the inner thighs and outer glute. We actually have multiple glute muscles, not just one giant muscle, your glute, even though we use it as a blanket term, but it's a whole set of muscles. There's 3 different ones that make up your full gluteus muscle. For 3, 2, 1, bring that leg back to center. Bend both knees in towards your chest. Place both feet back into the strap. Now you're going to lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. Yeah, and your elbows are still bent. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll into a ball and come up onto your sits bones, bringing that strap with you still underneath your feet. Good, good, good. And then you're just going to straighten those legs forward. Sitting up tall, you're going to hinge forward and then open your arms out to the side. And then pull back, pull back, pull back. Good. Pull back. For 5, 4, bend your knees slightly and see if that can give you a little bit more of a hinge. By bending the knees, it actually takes your, you can get a little bit more of a forward hinge. For 3, for 2, pause with the arms behind you. Now let's paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach the arms forward, let the strap go. Round the shoulders forward and back. So we've done a lot of hips and shoulders. So try to keep that whole activation of both those, all 4 of those joints. They're your ball and socket joints in the body. Now you're going to rotate onto your side to come up to an all fours position. Now we're going to be doing kind of a serratus push-up, meaning we're going to be really focusing on the underneath of the arm, the under armpit. So you're in this all fours position, you tuck your toes. You're going to lift your hips up towards the ceiling, but not fully straighten your knees. Your knees are just coming up so that they're almost straight. And then you shift more weight back into your feet. So I'm making a downward slope. Push more weight into your feet, Patricia. And then we're, yes, like that. Now bend and straighten just your elbows. Your head will come forward and towards your wrists. Your weight comes forward, then you push the weight. Your pelvis pushes your head forward, then you push your pelvis back on top of your knees. Good, just like that. Bend and straighten your elbows though. Don't just rock in the shoulders. Good. For 3, for 2, last 1, and then you're going to straighten both your legs up and you're in a downward dog now. Then you can walk your feet towards your hands or your hands towards your feet, whichever is more comfortable for you. Drop your head, look down the nose and round your spine back up 1 vertebra at a time. Building that spine up. Yeah. Find whatever position to get up to that standing position works for you. And then you're standing here. You're going to send your feet wide. Open your arms out to the side. Let your chest lift up as you reach your arms behind you so you're coming into extension. Then give yourself a hug, remembering which arm's on top. And then from here, you're just going to rotate your heart to the left and then rotate your heart to the right. So we're getting that spinal rotation, left and right. Open your arms back out to the side. Lift your heart up as you squeeze those shoulder blades. Then you're going to give yourself another hug, switching what arm's on top. Now, instead of rotating, you're going to side bend and side bend. And feel how your shoulder blades are moving as you side bend. Side bend. 3 more. 3, 2, last 1. Let your arms drop. Shake it all out. Fantastic job, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Time just flies.